by accident. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Ready? Ready? We're on. Greetings, family. Welcome to another one of your FRANK26 UB2Bs. It's good to be with you. It is the 14th of December, 2025. We are KTFalways.com, which stands for Keep the Faith Always in Our Heavenly Father. Before we do anything, we always go to God to seek counsel, to seek favor, to seek mercy, to seek grace. Would you join me? Father, I come to your throne room to worship you by prayer, to be with you and to talk to you. I thank you for our faith church service that we had today. It was just a handful of us, but where there are two or three, you are there. We talked about peace on earth. There has never been there's no peace on earth. There has never been a day on earth where there was peace. Ever since we sinned in the garden, every day has been unpeaceful. There is no peace on the earth, even though this is the time of the year that we say that, goodwill. There is no peace, so I pray for peace, Father. I pray for peace between you and I. Jesus, I am no longer your enemy. Jesus, I have ears to hear because you asked me, and I want you to know that I'm listening. My worship was broken because I was deceived. And yet, you have always been, you always will be, Emmanuel. Help me in what I'm about to do. By the love of your Son, Jesus, through the Holy Spirit, I pray, amen. Amen, amen. We're here to study the Iraqi dinar. Everything that I say to you is just strictly in my opinion. This whole study is just a speculative investment. I'm going to read to you my team's report. And because it's a little bit late, I came on late because I was watching my Detroit Lions. Who did they play? Oh, yeah, the Los Angeles Rams. That was a good game until my team lost. Congratulations, LA. Well, you took our quarterback. You know, there's so much, and it's late. I'll tell you what. What if I just read you what they say? Not so much what I say. I'll read you a little bit of what I say. There's just no end to this, and I want it to end. Okay, so we finished with our UB2B last night around 7, and right after that, the next reports start coming in. And like I said, I'm just going to read to you. I'm just going to have it read to you, okay? Before I do, there was this gentleman that called me and he left a voicemail. And he said that, well, he called me all kinds of names. He said I'm a jerk. And he just went on and on and on and on and on. And I wish him well. Omar's bank friend just told him that concerning Frank's question, he's not sure if it's going to be necessarily a managed float because managed floats versus a controlled float. Because managed floats or preset with no number in mind, you know, the number to cap it at. That's how a managed float works. But it is totally driven by the market, by the demand and supply. And it normally takes 3 to 5 years when they float. And there's no predetermined amount set at a managed float. It's just the market drives it. So we're pretty sure the dinar will not fall under that because I was applying because as an example, when this hits, it's just going to drive the rate up sky high. It's going to be a fixed rate with us, but outside, no. He's pretty sure. He hasn't really said much to us about this before, but he's bringing it up to us, Frank, because again, he's pretty sure we're going to see a fixed rate with the dinar because it only makes sense. That is the true definition of a managed float. A float means that they have not set a predetermined rate, you know, so that they can reach a cap. You don't do that with a managed float. You just kind of control it out at the start as it goes up, controlling it between 1 to 2%. That won't be you know that but that won't be the case because you know it's being kept from going outrageously high. You know we can take it up to 15, 16, even more. You also know that the goal is to be 1 to 1 and a managed float, but he thinks it may not be because that method would take 3 to 5 years. That's how a managed float goes. But he thinks the dinar will be fixed. But who knows at this point? So the people above Omar are giving us their opinion of the float. Because you know, I have told you that that's where our study is at. Everything prior to the float is done and waiting for the new exchange rate. The float is not waiting for the new exchange rate, it will determine its own. real effective exchange rate. Continuing. Mr. Frank, we've been talking today about the big meeting and the ceremony that they held earlier with the Secretary General of the United Nations. You know, when he came here and he did that big ceremonial speech today with Sudani, side by side with him. Sudani spoke first, and then he spoke. And the way he spoke, he was like praising Iraq and giving us praise of our reforms and telling us we're getting a full sovereignty back. And how, because of the will of Sudani and what he has done since he's been here, and then he expresses his opinion about what is to come, and I just don't really want to repeat that. And they're leaving on the 31st, the UN, and technically, wouldn't you think that if a rate change is going to come, they have this ceremony announcing all this officially first, correct? Well, they already did the ceremony. I just didn't tell you, but he's telling you now. So it looks like maybe sometime between now and the end of the year, we may see a new rate. Just saying, because it's just another key thing to look at. We have these 5 points. I'm sorry. And we have this point to look at from 5 years ago. It is saying 5 years ago on December the 20th, I remember, on a Sunday, December the 20th, 2020, Iraq changed its rate. Remember, Frank? It shocked all of us. When they changed it, it went to 1320 or whatever it is now. Though they changed the rate, they say to deviate it. Remember, sir, that it was kind of done all of a sudden, overnight. And that was 5 years ago. So we are just saying that it's kind of funny in the way how today they had that speech instead of having it on the 31st of December. I'm assuming you understand what I'm talking about because I'm assuming you study with me every day. Next report, 12 in the afternoon. The Kurdistan Regional Government, KRG, has confirmed that 120 billion Iraqi dinars will be transferred to the Federal Ministry of Finance within 24 hours as part of the latest financial and oil export agreement with Baghdad and Kirkuk. And you know how he does the summaries? So this is a summary. This is not anybody saying it in Iraq. This is not anybody's opinion. This is just a summary from my teams on the latest. We have an agreement basis. The transfer is tied to a tripartite oil and revenue sharing agreement between KRG and Baghdad and the international oil companies. That's why the oil is moving, Frank. Number two, proposed. These funds from this oil represent non. Oh, sorry. These funds, separate from the oil, represent non-oil revenue collected by the KRG, fulfilling its obligation under the federal budget law. Third point, what is the federal response? In exchange, Baghdad has committed to dispersing salaries and financial entities to the Kurdistan region employees. This is a key issue, Frank, that has caused repeated disputes in recent years. You can find this in pregraf.com. Thank you. On that .com, we have aspect information, amounts, and I'm not going to get into it. It is super long, but this is data. This is a lot of information on what Kurdistan and Baghdad are doing with many topics, mainly with the budget commitments. Non-oil revenues collected by KRG recipients, the timing, within 24 hours of the announcement agreement of the tripartite deal, Baghdad, Kurdistan International Oil Companies had an impact. This enables federal salary payments to Kurdistan. The next issue is about the salary crisis being relieved. Civil servants in Kurdistan have faced delays, Frank, in salary payments for a long time. But this transfer is expected to unlock federal disbursements for the July and beyond period. Third issue, political stability. The move signals cooperation between Erbil and Baghdad after years of dispute over oil exports and revenue distribution, opening the door for salaries, HCL, and many things of the budget. Next point. What is the economic confidence from this? The regular transfer of non-oil revenues, the 120 billion dinars, this is part of a framework to stabilize the relationships and ensure predictable funding flows for the oil companies, for the contracts. Next issue, implementation delays. Frank, even after these transfers, Baghdad has sometimes been slow to release salaries, frustrating employees. We hope that it works out quicker. Next issue, oil export dependency. Sir, the whole deal hinges on continued oil exports under the amendment budget law. Distributions could stall future payments. That's why we're hoping that it won't be delayed. Final issue, trust deficit. Well, that is a big issue, isn't it? And that trust is being redeveloped. Trust deficit. Past agreements have collapsed in the contract due to political disputes. So, a consistent follow through will be critical in our next move with the budget. Now, Frank, all of this announcement is a signal of progress between Baghdad and Erbil relations. But the real test will be whether the federal government promptly distributes these salaries and maintains this agreement in the coming months. Next report, 11:30 this morning. Your favorite economist is back. Get out of here, really? 5 days in a row. Okay, this has become a pattern, hasn't it? Your favorite economist is on Shafat News again, Frank, and he's giving his opinion. By the way, Frank, please tell your KTFA family this economist is not representing the CBI. He's just talking about the CBI. But the reason why he's talking about the CBI is because the CBI is talking about what he's talking about. Right now, we are seeing the Iraq Supreme Court's ratification of election results, which definitely sets the stage for potential movement of any rate change. I know. That's why I was saying, come on, man, let's just get that budget open. For the possibility of any rate change. Basically, having that political stability which we have now in place before the end of this year could be a prerequisite. No, it could be a prerequisite. So yeah, from now until January the 1st, we might see some announcements or final agreements that need to happen before they proceed with any kind of currency adjustments. Let's keep an eye on this. I do. Also, Frank, on the television this morning, they showed us the federal courts here in Iraq have officially ratified the elections, and this is very good for it. And everything is done correctly, they say. So there's no reason to delay it. And it has all been done by the Constitution. So now the movement to finalize the government is on. Yeah, and it has, and in my opinion, gentlemen, that government has to be formed before the 31st. Then I say, good morning. Good morning, gentlemen. First of all, I would like to ask you about the breakdown that you just gave me of all the hot topics that I just read to you that have occurred from yesterday, especially the topic of 340,000 capital sharing per citizen. We'll get to that later. Based on the assets of Iraq. I know that's not what they have in their pockets right now, but that's what they should have. 340,000 is just an average means of what you Iraqi citizens should have in your pockets based on your assets. Now, why in the world would they calculate those numbers for you? Laughing out loud. And by the way, is this summary something that the government put out, or is this your own opinion? No, Frank, that, like we told you, that was our summary report to you, our opinion. And also, don't forget, the economist is not necessarily talking for the CBI, he's talking about the CBI. Then I say, okay, Omar, I just read your second report about your friend's opinion at the bank, but unfortunately, the dictation wasn't that good. Can you send me this? But what I think your friend is saying is that you're going to have a fixed rate inside of your country and then a managed float outside of your country, anywhere from 3 to 5 years. And they're telling you about the Marshall Plan. Is that what he's trying to say to me? Yes, Frank, pretty much. Also, we're sending you this, but Omar is unavailable at this moment. Eddie told me to tell you Omar is with. Give me that report. Thank you. Continuing. I said, it seems to me that they are giving you many speeches about the 31st. Every day, that's all they talk about. And there's only one potential possibility concerning the 31st. 1310 comes to an end, and you become sovereign. So the question is more so not what happens on the 31st of December, but what happens on January the 1st of 2026. Because we all know what happens on the 31st. You take your first step into the international global community completely sovereign, restriction free, sanction free, and with security and stability surrounding your government and your central bank of Iraq. Yeah, that we know about the 31st. By the way, gentlemen, trust me, I remember December the 20th, 5 years ago. I remember. That was my birthday. Because when I woke up on that day, it was my birthday. And my teams told me there was a rate change. Quick, look. And I thought they meant it was 1-to-1. But unfortunately, it was 1320. And another point is they made a change to the exchange rate at the flip of a switch, surprising us overnight at the blink of an eye. And that's what they can do right now, too, without any fanfare, without any announcement, because they've already given you all the hints possible. Yeah. Frank, Sammy says he's not sure if January the 1st is the key in all of this, but it definitely looks like 26 is probably in January where we should see a lot. He's not saying that January the 1st we have the new rate, but we look at more intel today. But the meeting or ceremony done yesterday with the UN now gives Iraq the sovereignty, and hopefully Iraq will pull the trigger because of that. Semi said about 5 years ago, yeah, on December the 20th, that's when they changed the rate. They devalued our currency. And it's been like that since then. So we just saying that it's kind of ironic. Next weekend's anniversary, they could add value to our currency this time, in our opinion. To which then I respond and I say a lot. I'll read you this phrase. Gentlemen, wow. So you're telling me for the fifth day in a row, that same economist comes out, and once again he lays it out on the table very clearly, very precisely, explaining that we have the potential, we have the possibility of a rate change. Because Oliver and Wyman said that in 2026, there would be a rate change. Granted, gentlemen, I understand that he's not giving us a new exchange, saying we're going to have one, but he doesn't have to. Because the CBI and Sudani and Chalet and the other economists have already given you everything to calculate the new rate. Haven't they? In my opinion. They've given you everything to calculate the new rate internally. And as far as externally, well, well, that's based on supply and demand, so you really can't have a figure on that. But you do have an idea of the cap. Oh my goodness. I really like this economist. Oh my goodness. I really like this economist. Because it's very obvious what he's doing every day. And now for the fifth day in a row, allow me to say T minus 18 days and counting, in his opinion. Now I understand, Omar. Then they say to me, Sammy says this economist, like you say, he's not with the CBI or anything like that, but he is a financial advisor for Shabbat News. He is the financial advisor to the news station, and they say on the news all of his statements are his own belief, not anything directly from the CBI. So 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 please take this into consideration. Yeah, buddy, but like you and I said earlier, the only reason the economist is talking about this is because that's what the CBI was talking about earlier. Then I respond, thank you, Sammy. I will take that into consideration, but I want you to stop and think about it. There is somebody sending him out on purpose to do this every day. Somebody is doing this. If not, somebody else would have stopped him. Correct? So, in my opinion, this man is serving a purpose, preparing the citizens so that the shock is not so difficult to deal with. Remember the example I gave you about the UFOs? It has taken decades for human society to accept that there could maybe possibly be real UFOs. And if they are real, well, when they are told that they are real, it won't be such a shock for humanity. Regardless, these economists are saying what he's saying because of what the CBI is saying. Ta-da! Mr. Frank, what? That's his job. That's funny. That's his job. Yeah, I know. And that's why that's the job. Get out there and do it. Do what you're supposed to do, man. Until we hear these words coming directly from a lock from the CBI governor, we need to take it with a grain of salt, so to speak. It's good to hear all of this, but those are his thoughts. He is a financial advisor to Shabbat News. He doesn't work with the CBI. He doesn't have to. He speaks like every Iraqi citizen right now. Because it's no secret. Frank, Sammy says that we're going to have to wait and see because we get all excited about this guy, that's been on TV day after day after day, but he's been actually coming out since June. Oh, no, about this guy. Yeah, since June. But recently he's been saying more direct things to you. So we're waiting to see the issue. We wait to see more from Allah on these words that he says. Yeah, I know. I'm not saying anything. I already corrected it, but we know why he's saying it. And he says he's probably right. Yeah, he's probably right and spot on. But we have to take it as he is. We have to take it as He's a news guy too. Okay. Give me a second. I'll hurry up. Regardless, my point is that this economist is saying that regardless, gentlemen, but my point is that this economist is saying what is on the top of the mind of every Iraqi citizen. In other words, it is no secret what is about to happen. That's why he talks about it every day. And somebody's got to be sending him out to do this. If that's his job, he's getting paid to do this. In my opinion, if it was not potentially happening, then he wouldn't even think about talking about it. If it was not potentially actually happening, then he wouldn't even waste his time. He's getting paid to do this. Sammy says that he will chat with his friends in a few minutes and he has something more to send to you. Now, I think I may stop. I'm not sure. Frank, Chalet's on TV saying that the financial advisor, Chalet, confirmed on Sunday that the fluctuation of the dollar is temporary. Yeah, until you change the rate. And it's not based on real economic data. No, no, because you're going to be on par with the dollar. While the government continues to fix the official exchange rate at 1320 dinars with the support of strong reserves. Okay, look, Eddie, I didn't say this to you. Eddie, Sammy, Omar, all of you. I'm going to take this right here. While the government continues to fix the official exchange rate at 1320 dinars with the support of a strong reserves. So they're telling you every day that they are fixing 1320. Why? Because it's broke. No, friend. They're not taking the screwdriver and they're fixing it. They're 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 they're, they're fixing it. They are affixing it. Yeah, they're fixing it in. Uh, they're not trying to fix it. Yes, they are. 1320 is broken. What happens when something breaks? You replace it on December the 31st. Well, that's when it's broke. CBI? Yes, Frank. May I ask you a question? No, Frank. Thank you. Here's my question. You are fixing 1320? Yes, Frank. With the support of strong reserves? Yes, Frank. Then why the hell have you been teaching all year about the lifting of three zeros from your exchange rate to add purchasing power value to your broken exchange rate? You know why, Frank. I have to be chuckle and I have to be hide in order to hide the truth. Whatever, go away. Now the TV says now that the court has ratified the results of the elections. Great! They have 15 days now to elect a speaker and other members. Great! That's the formation of the government. Then I say, Sudani, why do you keep, which what I just said to you, Sudani, why do you keep saying that you are maintaining the fixed rate of 1320 when you have been bragging for months that you're going to lift the three zeros to bring purchasing power? Why do you talk that way? Why can't you just be honest? Why can't you just shut up and release the new exchange rate? I'm just asking. And this is a good one here. Frank, Sammy wants you to see this because it came out of the bank, and it's also on TV if you want to see it. This is great news, and kind of like what you have been saying, that these banks will come around. We now have, from the Rafadim banks announcing, we have 20 additional branches that have joined the anti-money laundering and the anti-counter-terrorism financial systems. This is really hurting Iran. We now have 20 more banks on board. Yeah. Omar is back. Oh, Don't just read the summaries. We're going to read your summaries, which are nothing more but opinions, right? All right. Omar is back, and he got his whatever from whatever. One of the bank guys up the ladder asked if was asking questions about the monetary reform process. We explained la 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 la. Concerning like they were talking about what to do, and I don't want to talk to you about it. But check this out. But he asked also about his brother's lost receipts. Now, what you're about to hear is that I said, well, ask the guys above you. They know the answer. The answer I've been giving you. The answer I've been giving to KTFA forever. Find out what they say. Here it is. His latest brother lost his receipt for his dinar. He said, this absolutely, Neil. Let's put that into a quick text summary for you. And so the KTFA exchanging form no longer necessarily requires a receipt. Told you. Instead, banks can simply verify the serial number on your foreign bills, Delarue machine, to check the authenticity and gather all the information that they need. Some of you have certificate of authenticity. That's crap. That's just a business card. Throw it away. You take your dinars to the bank. The bank will take your dinars. They will tell you if they're real or not. Not some little piece of paper that some salesman gave you to tell you these are real. Bills to check authenticity and gather all the information that the bank needs. Now, this change is seamless, the process, and it makes it easier for you to exchange currencies like the dinar or the dong. It be said, all the systems now can regulate each other through the ISO 220 links. Everything linked to it. They can tell where this note came from. What I tell you? What I tell you? I don't care if you drop it in the ocean. They can tell you where it's at, where it came from, everything about their currency. They know everything about their babies. They know where this note came from, and all information on this note with new banking digital information and regulations. Right now, the new guideline means you don't necessarily need the receipts for foreign currency exchange. Instead, banks just check the serial number to verify the authenticity of your currency. That makes things a lot smoother overall. He says it'll speed things up, the entire process, and once certified, once they certify the serial numbers and check, they will have all the data for those serial numbers on their systems. They will tell you if your currency is real or not. Continuing, the latest Iraqi Gazette includes new amendments for the proposed status law. Good. The General Assembly law. Good. And updates to the federal budget law. Praise God. For 23, 24, and 25. They also included some new regulations on civil airport wages. This was published last Wednesday, sir. Frank, Omar says this is very important. Remember what we said about now when we're watching the Gazette. Basically, they're setting the stage now. Yes or no? Basically, they're setting the stage now with legal groundwork. If they want to roll out any future financial or exchange related changes, they have got the legal framework in place first. It's like they're building the frame before hanging up the new policies. And it's moving really fast too, isn't it? That's a beauty. Continuing. Kurdistan TV says that Syria and And us foreign ministers today agreed to release all sanctions on Kurdistan. Oh, news. Frank, basically, that ceremony that we had yesterday with Sudani in the United Nations, it meant this quote, the United Nations has clearly shown the domestic Iraq the domestic Iraq ends in 2025 and the international Iraq starts in 2026 with banking reforms. Oh, now what's the key here? What's the key here? What's the This is from so all of this is on the cassette, guys. Thank you. And it's and they put it in capital letters here. One more time. Look at this. What do you get out of this? Tink, let me know what they say. United Nations, so with Sudani and the United Nations. So this means that the United Nations has clearly shown that the domestic Iraq ends in 25 and the international Iraq starts in 26 with banking reforms. What did you get out of this? A change. A change. What else? Butterflies. Butterflies. What else? A major change is coming. A major change is coming. A rate. Big. Okay. A major change. A rate. Look at this. Look at this. The inside of Iraq ends 1320, and the outside of Iraq, the international, starts in 2026. Starts in 2026 with 1320 with banking reforms. To which they tell me, you know, Frank, that banking reforms cannot really be completed until a new rate is exposed, Omar says. Yeah. Frank, this is incredible news. That's why the amended part to the budget for 2025 has not been seen yet. It's all related. So when that pops, it's all that it's all of it. Why it's all related. So that when it pops, everything that was hidden will be revealed, and that's got to be soon. Omar says, in his opinion, now this is just his opinion, but would next weekend be anniversary of when they might give us the raid? Remember the 20th? Could the anniversary on December the 20th be important enough for us to consider that 5 years ago they did a rate change on that day, and we need this done before the 31st? So this weekend, which is the anniversary of 5 years ago when they last changed the rate, we are looking at a possibility. And maybe for next weekend, let's say the 19th, which is Friday, until let's say January the 8th is when the new government goes into session on the 9th of January. So it's kind of like the time frame that we're kind of looking for, a time frame where everything should be settled with the government. even though the government is totally separate from the CBI, and the CBI is separate from the government, but the CBI does not have to wait on the government. They can release a new rate tomorrow if they wanted to, in our opinion. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, Omar, for your report. I'm sorry I did not get it. No, I don't want to read that. Frank, all of us here want to point out to you that this report is a good sign that it's in the news today, that after all these years of controversy, Iraq is moving towards opening two land borders crossing with Saudi Arabia. That is also very big to consider. On the television today, look what our neighbors are saying. The Syrian Central Bank announced today that they're officially pushing ahead with their new digital currency plans. They're teaming up with Visa to create a digital payment system and aiming to become a bit of a financial hub in the region. So, yeah, they're really diving into this digital shift. And there you go. Because that's exactly what you are. That's exactly what you are, Iraq. And you, Iraq, you're waiting for everyone else around you to catch up. Now the budget is showing. Okay, 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 okay. We're done. Yeah, there's some good articles that came out today. Like for example, number 19, the Sudanese advisors. Sudanese people. The dollar fluctuations are temporary. Yeah, maybe a couple more weeks are temporary. And the government is committed to fixing the exchange rate at 1320 dinars. Then why have you been bragging about lifting the three zeros? Why have you been showing lower notes from other countries? Why have you been showing coins? Why have you been telling people that you need to collect the 3-0 notes? Why have you been going through a whole monetary reform process? Number 17, Iraq enforces new customs and currency regulations tied to Asikuda. Iraq enforces new customs and currency regulations tied to Asikuda? Not for 13, 20, or 10. That's almost comical. Well, it is comical. Number 16 is very interesting because here's a guy, he says, my perspective on the dinar and the economic reform, based on what Dr. Masoud, whatever his name is, wrote about them. And when you read this, holy cow, he gives 1, 2, 3, 4 points on the danger of not lifting the value of the currency. Oh my goodness, this is pretty cool. The very, very bottom, the last sentence, seeking to reduce the exchange rate of the Iraqi dinar is an economic crime. Seeking to reduce the exchange rate is an economic crime. In an economic crime that should only be resorted to in extremes. That's a great article because it goes against the lies that are out there. Did you all get to see my UB2B yesterday? My picture? I put that up for a few minutes and then I got rid of it. It was funny. Yesterday, many of you were saying, I can't hear you, I can't hear you, I can't hear you, I can't hear you. Let me ask you something. Can you hear me today? The answer is yes, isn't it? We didn't do anything different. at the beginning of the UB2B, I told you I had somebody that just cursed at me. One of the things he was mad about, he says, I couldn't hear you, I couldn't hear you, how dare you, I can't hear you, I can't hear you. You're so, unorganized, you're so improper, you're so evil. You won't let us hear you. I think it was like 21,000 views on yesterday's UB2B. There was only like 4 or 5 people that couldn't hear us. And yet this man spits in my face. Because he said to me, and you tell everybody, well, get a speaker. How rude, how mean of you. Well, you see, everybody can hear me but you. And I thought it was good advice to say, get a speaker. I thought that was good advice. I thought that was good, I thought that would help you. But you took it as an insult, huh? Fascinating. I'm not going to take you for, if you study the Iraqi dinar with me, I'm done. God bless you. I'll see you tomorrow. If you stick around for aloha, I was going to take you out there. And I wanted to show you these. These are plants that are flowering in December when they should be flowering in the spring. This is a yucca. Watch this. Oh, stop it. Oh, golly. Come on. Ay, 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 ay. So there is the flower of a yucca. There is the flower of a different yucca. There's our, and they glow. Did you see that glowing effect? You see that? Isn't that cool? Yeah, to see a flowering bloom in the wintertime makes me feel good. Mission accomplished. Would you like a bank story before I say goodbye? There's just so many of them because everybody's having success now with bank stories. As long as you follow the template that we established, don't go in there with a bad attitude. Go in there with the final article thread articles that proves to you that on December the 31st, and besides, all the banks know they're willing to talk to you. For example, let me see. Sean, you're a member of KTFO. Well, yeah, you're a premium member too. Yeah, you're a premium member of KTFOalways.com. And we have a bank story here that I'd like to share with the family that you sent to us with your permission. And I thank you. Because I think that this is the template that we should follow. You don't go in there demanding to know information about the Iraqi dinar. This is the approach that I teach. You just want to open an account. And if they ask you what you want the account for, tell them you got money. You want to put it in their bank. You got bills to pay. You need a checking account. But in the process, you also want to ask them, can I make an appointment with your wealth management advisor? And when they say, well, you tell them, well, because I have some investments, I have some inheritance. You don't want to lie, but I have an investment that's about to mature. Yeah, we can make an appointment. Thank you very much. And in that process, somehow or another, either by them, the bank, or by you, the dinar is revealed. Not 9 out of 10 times, 10 out of 10 times. Like, for example, with Sean. Great day, KTFA family. I would like to share my bank story. I'm so grateful to gain the knowledge from our studies at KTFA that share their stories when they come in. I went to Wells Fargo in Georgia, and I spoke to the clerk, stating that I would like to speak with the relationship manager because I said I have foreign currency. I have the Iraqi dinar. And I told him, I said, this currency might be possibly be reinstating, maybe revaluing, maybe reinstating on January the 1st of 2026. And then I'm sure he had articles to back it up. I share the current currency value. He probably means I shared. I shared the current currency value of 1310, that I shared that it will, oh, I see, that it will no longer be active on December the 31st, 2025. And it and it has been stated, article, that the United Nations will be leaving Iraq and they will be fully sovereign on December the 31st of this year. The clerk scheduled me an appointment with the RM, the relationship manager. The RM then called me and scheduled me an appointment to come in today to discuss their products or service that they will be offering. And he stated that once I come in to make my deposit, he will schedule for me to meet the wealth manager. And then we will go from there. Should I need private banking, that's available. So, simply put and sweet, I did it. I was afraid, but I took action. Also, I have a phone call scheduled with financial advisor. Should I want to work with someone from Edwards and Jones to look at their services, I truly believe this is our time. I am super excited about our future. Sean. Thank you, Brother Sean, for your bank story. God bless you, friend. You did tell them it was the dinar. Normally, they would have stopped you and kicked you out, but instead they said, come, we'll follow through, meet this guy. And the guy says, when you bring the money, oh, you know I'm bringing it, huh? Yeah, when you bring the money, we'll introduce you to those guys over there. Okay, that's how you do it. When you go to a bank, it'd be best that you open an account. You may say to yourself, I don't really necessarily need a checking account or a savings account at a bank that exchanges foreign currency. I can do it when this blessing occurs. Yeah, yeah. Personally, I just want to be ready. Also, you never know. Every bank has different regulations. Some of them might require for you to have an account with them for a few months before they even do business with you. Something to think about, okay? Well, I'm done. I think what I'll do is hey, there's Aloha in back of me. Will you get the glasses that I need, Tank, so that I can show them the tank back here? I hope you had a good time. I hope you learned a lot again tonight. And that Economist, 5 days in a row. Unbelievable. Let's see what happens tomorrow. God bless you all. Sweet aloha to you. And let me just show you some of my Hawaiian fish. You gonna hold the camera back? Okay. And you guys are good. Let's see. Let's show them it's called frog spawn, isn't it? Yeah. This over here. This is that bright green structure. I will get the sticks. I can point at things. It's amazing how we're falling over everything, isn't it? This right here, family, is called frog spawn. Isn't that pretty? The reason why is because when frogs lay eggs, it looks like this. This is another type of frog spawn right there. Different species. Here's another one. And this is more, what is it, Jen? Hammerhead. Hammerhead coral. This guy right there. Ooh. Ooh. Here's another one. Come on over on this side. These are also frog spawns. Torches, they're called. Hey, buddy, look at Jen's. Look what's met. Hi, buddy. Ooh, look at that! I touched the anemone and it shrunk down, Dan. Those guys are skunkfish, and they have a symbiotic relationship with the anemone. They can live inside of the anemone, but no other fish. Well, there is one other fish, and that's a domino. You see this right here, family? This is called a bubble coral.
Don't touch it.
I know I shouldn't touch it. It's so fragile. It is. It is so fragile. It's so thin. Oh, look at this. These are mangroves, and the point is to bury them, and I will. And they grow in salt water, as you know. I've taught you that. And there's other torches. Where are they at? Oh, look at, right there, right there. Follow the tip, and you're gonna see what's called an anemone crab. Ready? Right there. See if I can make him come out.
Nope.
There he is. There, you kind of saw him. You see his arms. This is a purple tip anemone. Watch this.
That's not nice.
I'm sorry. These are hairy mushrooms up here. Hairy mushrooms. Watch. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I bother you? Excuse me. Here's another torch way over here. Watch this. Ooh. These are also torches down here. One. This is probably one of the prettier ones. It's blue and purplish color. Two. And there's another one right there. Those right there. And then this one over here is also a torch. Right there. This is sponge. Where's the sponge? Come on over here, sweetie. I think there's a. Ah, yes. Good camera work, Tink.
No, not really.
This over here, family, if you follow the stick, this sponge, that's orange sponge. That's red sponge down there. But this sponge right here is very, very hardy. And there is also a rare one. Come on over here, Ben. And that would be these guys right here. As I get down to point. There. These are blue sponges. They come from a very deep part of the ocean. You see these guys over here? If you look real carefully, see where the stick is pointing. They're waving. They're like little hands that open and close. Open and close. Hey guys. I like this up here. This is called seagrass. And it decided to grow on the wall of the fish tank. This is another hairy mushroom, but it's a different species. This I call broccoli. And this one, asparagus. I hope you had a wonderful time, family, studying the Iraqi dinar with me. Once again, there were some very interesting things that we learned tonight. I leave you with just that profound thought. By the way, somebody made a comment, and if you're watching, we apologize. You made a comment about me having my this on my nose, and you were just laughing about it. We thought that you were making fun of me. My admins did. And they removed you by accident. If that's you and you're listening, I humbly apologize. You're welcome to call me. I'll give you a month free of premium. I'll get you back in, okay? You're welcome to call me. I'm sorry. And if any of you should need me, I'm a registered agent with a licensed broker with the U.S. Treasury. My phone number is 419 283 2552. 419 283 2552. Okay, so that's that. What else was I going to do just now? Oh, yeah, just a final thought. Chile, Sudani, Alak, Oliver Wyman, everybody, y'all be talking forever, 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 forever. That Iraq is going through a monetary reform process of lifting the three zeros to add purchasing power, collecting the three zeros inside of your country, and then you're going to go into a float. You've been talking about that forever, educating people forever about that. So, where's the logic in saying that that you're working so hard with your reserves to to fix your exchange rate at 1320? Where's the logic in that? Like I told you, it's just a simple Jekyll and Hyde attitude. God bless you.